I've drawn all the graphics for this game using Inkscape. And very soon, you'll be able to do it too. Even a kid can do this at home on their own computer. Just watch the series of lessons. You will learn how to create everything you see on the screen right now. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. There's going to be tons of cool stuff here. Do it right now. Hit the subscribe button. I made this game in Unity. That's a different program, not Inkscape. But you handle it just easily. Check the description for a free Unity course for absolute beginners. Have you downloaded and installed Inkscape yet? Then let's get started.
Before we start using Inkscape, we need to learn the basic elements of this program. Let's get started. In the Inkscape program, we have a canvas. We can see it in the center of the screen. Our drawing does not necessarily have to fit within this canvas. It is shown here just to help us orient ourselves. The canvas roughly indicates the center of the scene. However, we can draw outside the canvas even on its borders. Our shapes can be placed anywhere, and this does not affect anything. We can move the canvas by pressing the mouse wheel, holding it, and dragging the mouse. This allows us to move the canvas. We can also move the canvas by dragging these scroll bars at the bottom and on the side. Additionally, we can zoom in or out by pressing the minus or plus keys on the keyboard. Up here we have the program's main menu. We can go into different sections to select various tools. On the left we have the main tools panel, where we can choose what we will do. We will draw different shapes or do freehand drawing. On the right we have windows with additional auxiliary tools. There might be nothing here initially. We can bring out this window or use this button here to select different tools. Windows with settings for these elements will appear. This button and this toolbar do not have to be on the right, they can be at the top, or they can be completely hidden. We can open additional tool panels, more precisely windows with tools. Here at the top is the object menu. We can select different properties we want to control. Now, I will draw something simple. We will cover actual drawing later. Here is some kind of abstract shape. We can make copies of shapes, and we will often need to do this. We can use the shortcut Ctrl D. I press Ctrl D. A copy is created. I can move it aside. Or use the Edit Duplicate menu. A copy is created and remains in the same place. Additionally, we can mirror an object horizontally. Here is the horizontal flip, and here is the vertical flip. Or we can use the keyboard shortcuts H and V. H is for horizontal, V is for vertical. Pressing H mirrors the object horizontally. Pressing V mirrors it vertically. The same can be done using these buttons at the top. Flip horizontally or vertically. We can also rotate by 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. We can set the coordinates of our object X and Y. We can enter them manually if needed, or we can move the object. We can move objects with the mouse or the keyboard. I will not use the mouse now. I will use the keyboard. Pressing the left arrow moves the shape exactly to the left. Pressing the right arrow moves it to the right. Holding Shift while pressing an arrow key moves the object 10 times faster. Up, down, left, right. We can also set the width and height of the object. W and H. This is useful, for example, when drawing a square and we want it to be perfectly square. We can set the width, W, to 50 pixels and the height, H, to 50 pixels. Now we have a perfect square. We can move objects. Using this tool on the toolbar, the first one here. It is called the selector tool. We select it. Clicking once on an object allows us to move it. Clicking on the object again changes the handles to rounded arrows. Now we can rotate the object. Holding Ctrl rotates it in 15-degree increments, so we can rotate it exactly 15, 30, 45 degrees, and so on. We can group objects. Sometimes this is very necessary. For example, let's draw a simple person, a head. Here will be an eye, for example, quickly sketching something resembling a person. Looks a bit strange. Now I can move the nose and eyes separately. If we perform an action, we can undo it with Ctrl Z. Ctrl Shift Z will redo the action. This can also be done in the Edit menu at the top. Undo is Ctrl Z, redo is Shift Ctrl Z. Now, for convenience, I want all these shapes to move together. These are parts of one object. I can select all parts like this. I left-click and drag to select all objects. Then, I can use Object Group or press Ctrl G. Now this is a single group, as if it were one object. But double-clicking inside lets us enter the group. Inside, we see that each object is still separate. We can still edit each object individually. Double-clicking outside the group exits group editing. Now I can move the entire group again. Using Object Group, we combine multiple shapes into one group, but in reality, they are still separate objects. At any time, we can use Object Ungroup or Shift Ctrl G. This breaks the group into separate parts. This is very convenient.